So different from the Hispanics that are coming to the country or the Vietnamese that are coming to the country. They are trying to do just like the rest of the immigrants that come here. They're trying to take advantage of the opportunities that exist in America, trying to become successful, keep their families together, educate their children, and make a contribution to the United States. You have Muslims now who are going into politics. For example, you know the story of Keith Ellison, the African-American from Minnesota, who was a representative from Minnesota and who was sworn in. He put his hand on the Quran that owned that was owned by Thomas Jefferson, and so you have you know, you have Muslims who are becoming very visible as judges, as politicians, as mathematicians and educators, and so Muslims are just now trying to embrace the idea that we are Americans. And in the past, you know, the Muslims were separatists.
Almost forbidden to embrace the idea of being American.
A lot of that separatist ideology came from, you know, the Nation of Islam for the most part, and to a certain extent from the Moorish Science Temple. But that has changed completely, especially with more immigrant Muslims coming here and African Americans getting to know the immigrant Muslims more. And as a matter of fact, there are marriages going on between immigrant Muslims and African American Muslims. So the Muslim community is a multi-ethnic community. And to a certain extent, I think it reflects the future face of America, because America, as you know, is becoming less white Anglo-Saxon Protestant in terms of what it looks like physically, and is becoming more brown and more yellow. So there's a browning of America. Texas, for example, is predominantly brown. California is predominantly brown. Florida is becoming that way. And so that's what America is going to look like. And I think with Barack Obama and what he's doing, he's sending a very good message. I think it's very interesting that you could have a Christian, and I believe Obama is a Christian, but with a Muslim name. And at the same time, he can be mainstream and accepted by Americans, to the point where he just recently became the official candidate for the Democratic Party. So I think that with the election going on now and the things that's happening in our society, with the demographics shifting and changing, America now is starting to fulfill Thomas Jefferson's statement that we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among them are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. And these are very, very exciting times to be an American in the society. I mean, growing up in Alabama, when apartheid or white supremacy was very strong, and I know you grew up in a period of segregation in Arkansas and Jim Crow. I never thought I would live long enough to see America own up to its ideals or measure up to its ideals in terms of its ideals of as a predominant Christian society and its ideals as a democratic society. And I think in the next generation or two, America is going to really become the American that Martin Luther King dreamed of in his famous "I Have a Dream" speech. You know.
And so in a real sense, Islam has been very, very good for America by depositing certain ideas, especially in reference to humanity in a real sense. Would that be correct?
Yeah, that'd be correct, because Islam is a religion for the whole of humanity. It has nothing to do with race, tribe, or gender. It is about bringing the whole of humanity into one beloved community, as Dr. King would call it. We call it the Ummah, which is the Arabic word for the same thing. But what Islam tries to do is tries to unite people, not divide people. It tries to get people to get beyond differences, you know, and create a society of brotherhood and equality. I mean, that is the real message of Islam. Because when it came to Arabia in the 7th century, there was tribalism, there was slavery, there was feudalism. Islam abolished all of that, you know. And the same thing it did in West Africa, because there was tribalism in West Africa, you know. And Islam went there and united people. So Islam, if it's properly understood, it's a religion that was revealed to unite people across differences of color, language, and race. It's not a religion that was designed to, you know, separate people or divide people. It is a uniting force. And when you look through the Muslim world, you can see the people of Africa, Asia, and Europe coming together as one under the banner of Islam.
And of course, I think that you said at one time, the last minute or so that we have here, that at one time the religion had been hijacked
Yes.
in the Middle East. Explain that in the last minute or so.
Well, I think the media has taken the worst among us in terms of Muslim, the people who are the suicide bombers, the people who are in fact the terrorists, and they've created this hysteria, this what we call Islamophobia or xenophobia, which is so very, very unfair to more than 1 billion people dispersed throughout the world. Islam has nothing to do with terrorism or violence. It's not that type of religion at all. In fact, the word Islam means peace. Peace. And Muslims are peacemakers, not peace breakers. Yes.
Very good. And of course, Dr. Al-Hadid, over the last half minute here that we have here, let me tell you how much we appreciate you bringing by that information dealing with this religion and the people that are involved with the religion, because I think that what we need more than anything is a better understanding and the ability to be able to talk to people in reference to it. You know, as long as we keep anything hidden, there's going to be misconceptions and misunderstandings in reference to it. And I think that you've done not only in this venue, but you've done quite a bit throughout your academic career and et cetera, in terms of trying to present to the world the real face of Islam. And I want you to know that we appreciate your efforts. And of course, let me encourage our audience to tune in again next week for another informative edition of Comments. Thank you and good morning.